Grand Rising. Good evening, everyone. Today is September 24th, 2025. And yes, my friends, the evidence is all pointing that we are on a positive timeline trajectory. Well, recent new discoveries detected more celestial objects that are associated with 3I Atlas. I'm going to go over what they are and their significance, as well as the interplanetary activities that are going on from behind the scenes. Of course, we're here, they're off world, between the bases, colonies that have been established throughout our solar system that are being protected by Solar Warden, and of course, the members of 3I Atlas. Okay, there's a lot of things that have been going on that I'm going to share with you guys in the next hour. Once again, guys, you guys are going to get first dibs onto what's happening beyond this world. My name is Ishmael Perez, for those that don't know me, and I'm the author of those two amazing books behind me, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and of course, my contribution to humanity, Our Cosmic Origin, restoring information that has long been kept from the public's view for thousands of years back to the earth. And yes, my friends, those books are available through Amazon. The link is always in the description. Now, for those that have not signed up for my October classes, my groundbreaking work, Our Cosmic Origin class, it is a type of educational data dump that is only being offered to advanced interstellar societies. You guys are going to get full dibs on cosmic information that has never been shared before, and it goes beyond my book, Our Cosmic Origin. In fact, I share some of the new data that I am currently writing about in my next unpublished book. Not to mention Ascension 1.1, Ascension 2.0, and 3.0. I have these classes that are designed depending on the level of awakening and the level of comprehension that you're in. For those that are just getting their feet wet, I strongly suggest that you take Ascension Basics. It'll help you understand the current transition right now that we are all undergoing from the 3D to the 4D to the 5D. And then, of course, Ascension 2.0, it's a little bit more advanced, teaching you how to activate the light body, teaching you about your multidimensionality, and most importantly, how to connect to the quantum field so that you could begin quantum shifting, or jumping rather. And then my newest course, Ascension 3.0, for those that are really advanced and are ready to embody their cosmic self. All right, with no further ado, I want to extend gratitude to each and every single one of you guys for being here. And also for those that watch on the replay, of course. Without you guys, I wouldn't have a channel. And so thank you guys very much. I see I got 2 super chats already. Your Intel Ishmael, thank you. You are so welcome, Melissa Butcher. And then I got another super chat from Melissa Butcher. Your Intel Ishmael, thank you. Oh, it's the same one. Okay. It actually repeated twice. It looked like I had 2 super chats coming in. Thank you so much, Melissa, for that. You are the first super chatter of the evening. All right. Well, let's get right into it, guys. You know, negative perspectives, doomsdayers, are predicting that this is going to all be geared towards what they call Project Bluebeam. On the contrary, my friends, for those that are not vibrating with any negative timeline, it is actually the other way around. All right. It is the opposite of that. And I'm going to get right into it for those that are just like, get right into it, Ishmael. Well, here we go. Okay. Well, the James Webb Telescope has recently unveiled a cosmic city, first and foremost, within 3I Atlas. All right. Stunning revelations that challenge the very foundations of what we call today astrophysics and human understanding. Well, the James Webb Space Telescope has detected what appears to be a city-like structure nested within the interstellar object 3I Atlas. This discovery is not merely a scientific milestone, my friends. It marks a profound turning point in our collective consciousness. 3I Atlas, which is, of course, the third interstellar object to have entered our solar system, and now we have more, which I will actually get into right now. 3I Atlas has already, you could say, piqued the curiosity of astronomers worldwide due to its unusual trajectory and inexplicable deceleration patterns. Not to mention, a few days ago, Data show that it disappeared for about 17 minutes and 31 seconds, just, undetected by radar. Well, stuff that defies the laws of physics, of course, right? But when the JWST, the James Webb Telescope, focused its powerful infrared imaging capabilities on the object, what it uncovered actually defied all known natural hidden laws, okay? Or natural phenomena, rather, like the laws of physics. Well, hidden deep within this thick, icy shell, and it's not really an ice. They're using a type of advanced technology known as a Dyson sphere, allowing them to actually travel in between densities, okay? Of course, to the astronomers and those that are using Newtonian base mechanics instruments, they see it as an icy shell, but it's really not, okay? So what they have recently found lies an intricate geometrical harmonious structure. The architecture, radiating soft luminous, appears to defy entropy. The formation bears unmistakable symmetry. Crystalline towers, this is what they detected, all right? Dome-like enclosures and vast energetic grids that hint at intelligent design. Now, whenever a civilization, whether they are spacefaring or traveling, or whether they are stationary, well, nothing is really stationary because even planets are revolving around the galactic core, right, with our solar systems. Well, whenever they find formations of crystalline towers, dome-like enclosures, and vast energetic grids, those are all evidence that, these are structures of a type 2 advanced interstellar, and what I call in my class also a type 3 galactic, all right? And this is not a random alignment of minerals and gases, my friends. This is actually a city, a huge city that is miles long, right? It is very cosmic in nature and intentional in design. So right now, NASA is just like, their mind is being blown as to what they just discovered, okay? And they can't really hide it anymore, guys. Well, you're probably wondering who built that. According to the Association of Worlds of the United Federation of Planets, pertaining to our local star cluster, for those that have taken our cosmic origin class, you know what I'm referring to, and data channeled through various spiritual researchers, this structure is believed to be a composite outpost, a collaborative creation formed by various star nations from across the Milky Way and beyond. Well, and you're probably wondering, Ishmael, how do you know this? Who's giving you this information? This report's coming from the Galactic Alliance, okay? These civilizations, many of which have been silently observing the Earth for millennia, have now unified in purpose. Their representatives dwell within this interstellar sanctuary, traveling aboard 3i Atlas as peaceful witnesses to the Earth's grand transformation. They have not come to conquer. They have come to observe, to support the transition, and most importantly, to hold sacred space for what is perhaps the most significant events in cosmic history, which is what? The ascension of the Earth. Of course, known by many interpretations, according to all the holy books, the restoration of Earth. Okay? As humanity stands at the precipice of a multi-dimensional shift, these interstellar beings offer vibrational guidance, stability, and encoded transmissions to awaken those that are ready to remember their place in the galactic family. The city within 3i Atlas actually serves as a neutral ground for different star nations, as an interdimensional embassy, all right, because this is a place where different density beings from level 1 interplanetary to level 2 stellar and even level 3 galactic are able to coexist on different densities, okay? A meeting ground for conscious collectives, and have long awaited this pivotal moment. Well, the James Webb Telescope, though built for scientific exploration, has inadvertently become a divine instrument, offering humanity a glimpse into the interconnected web of cosmic consciousness. Now, of course, this discovery is not going to be advertised or shown through the media. NASA's doing everything in their power, guys, to conceal what they just found a few days ago. which is mind blowing to them. Okay. This discovery is a call to awakening, okay, a reminder that we are not alone and that the Earth's evolution is being lovingly witnessed by advanced civilizations who once also underwent their own journeys of planetary ascension. Well, the city within Three Eye Atlas is glowing not with official light, and yes, it is exerting an emerald light green glow, right? Which is a symbol of the Guardian Alliance. The Guardian Alliance is an interdimensional alliance comprised of civilization existing in all 15 dimensions. For those that didn't know, okay, it existed before the Galactic Federation was established. It existed before any, physical space keeping, you could say, a police force was established. So the city within Three Eye Atlas glows not with artificial light, but with encoded intention, a beacon to the stars, and of course, a message to humanity. Okay. So one of the things that Space Force is encoding from the transmissions that are coming from Three Eye Atlas is they're telling us, you are ready. We are here. The shift has begun. All right. This is one of the things that is being encoded right now as I speak through Space Force. And of course, even through NASA, but NASA is just, they're shitting bricks. You know what I mean? Oops. I can't believe I said that word. Anyways, well, in addition to all of this, guys, we have new objects, celestial objects that are actually associated with Three Eye Atlas, recently discovered. The latest capture scientific attention is known as SWAN, and that is spelled SWAN, which is a new fast-moving object believed to be of interstellar origin. The scientists or the astronomers call it C/2025A6. All right, and then of course, they also discovered C/2025A6 Lemon. LEMMON, which is a freshly spotted long period. Well, they call it a comet, but we know it's not a comet, right? That may hold the key in understanding the early history of our solar system, going back to 4.5 billion years ago, which tells you that all of these sudden celestial objects that are all of a sudden coming into our solar system perhaps could all be associated with the Cedar race. Okay, I've never really went into detail about the Cedar race, which I will in my next unpublished book that I'm still working on. But together, these objects, my friends, along with growing, you could say, along with growing concerns around near-Earth object detection, highlight an exciting and urgent frontier in modern astronomy. Okay. SWAN, which was detected by the Solar Wind Anisotropes instrument aboard the SOHO spacecraft, made headlines due to its unusual trajectory and high hyperbolic velocity, suggesting it originated from outside of our solar system. Well, following in the steps, of course, of Oumuamua, Borisov, and Atlas, SWAN is believed to be the fourth confirmed interstellar object entering our solar system. The data gathered from SWAN's composition could actually help answer fundamental questions about the chemical diversity of planetary systems beyond our own, indicating that it originated in another solar system. Okay, which means it was sent by intelligent design. Okay. So around the same time, my friends, astronomers also are detecting C/2025A6, known as Lemon, a long period comet originating from a distant Oort cloud, or the distant Oort cloud, which is the spherical shell of icy bodies surrounding our solar system. Well, according to the Galactic Alliance, this is actually leftover stellar technology that was left behind by the Cedar race millions of years ago. Okay, so in other words, the stellar advanced technologies that were left behind by the ancient Cedar race, right, which of course seeded our galaxy multiple times, is now activating some of these technologies. Okay, so This is that, my friends. Okay. So while Lemon is not classified as interstellar, its extremely elongated orbit brings it from the fringes of the solar system into the inner region only once every several thousand years. Okay. So through though different rather in origin, Lemon shares similarities with Swan in that it provides a window into primordial material, right? It's been around since the beginning of the formation of our solar system, another indicator that was actually left behind by the Cedar race. Well, since it has likely spent most of its life in deep freeze, billions of years perhaps, right? Or millions rather, millions of years, far from the sun, Lemon's composition is expected to be relatively unchanged since the solar system's formation. Observing both objects side by side gives scientists a unique comparative opportunity. How does interstellar material like Swan compare to ancient solar system material like Lemon is their question at this point. Well, as these objects capture public imagination, their sudden arrival also raises a more practical concern. Are we prepared for unexpected cosmic visitors? All right, this is coming from NASA. Well, the near Earth object, also known as NEO, detection systems are currently focusing on tracking known asteroids and comets within our solar system. However, objects like Swan traveling from deep space at high velocities and from unexpected angles often evade detection until they are already quite close, okay? So the arrival of Lemon and Swan underscores the need to expand our detection capabilities, especially as the frequency of observed visitors appear to be increasing. Interstellar objects might pass through our solar system more often than we once thought. And our current infrastructure may not be sufficient to identify potential threats or even study them in depth before they vanish into the void again. Well, this is again coming from NASA. This has fueled calls for more wide field telescopes, space based observatories, and early warning systems that can actually detect hyperbolic and long period objects with enough lead time for scientific or safety responses. So apparently, guys, they're more than just rocks, okay? These are messages from the universe, all right? These are messages from our elder brothers and sisters. Whether it's Swan gliding in from an alien star system or Lemon returning from the icy outskirts of our own solar system, these objects are more than just cold chunks of rock and ice, okay? They are time capsules, physical records of cosmic history. Now, this is not coming from NASA. This is coming from the Association of Worlds, also known as the United Federation of Planets. And again, for those that have taken my Cosmic Origin course, you know that the main headquarters for the Association of Worlds, also known as the United Federation of Planets, is located on Ganymede, right? Which is one of the moons of Jupiter. So Swan may carry information from an entirely different planetary system, possibly even predating our sun, okay? According to the evidence. Lemon, untouched for eons, holds secrets about the formation of our own solar system. And for those that have taken my Cosmic Origin class, you know that our solar system was formed from the debris of the exploded Lyran planet Avion during the First Galactic War 560 million years ago, okay? Anyhow, their sudden appearance within our skies reminds us that the universe is very active, dynamic, and full of surprises. Well, each one challenges our understanding and urges us to improve how we watch the skies, because our limited science has no clue, right? They could only interpret things from their point point of view, from their point of reference, which is very limited, okay? In either case, just in this year alone, guys, we've seen not just one, right, but two cosmic visitors, three technically, and these other few smaller ones, which I'm actually going to be revealing. There is no record of this according to any known document here on this planet, but I was able to tap into the Interplanetary records, which is a vast library located on Ganymede, the moon of Jupiter. And you're probably thinking, Ishma, how do you have access to that? Well, guys, there is a version of me that is still working off-world. Okay, we are multidimensional people. We have multiple avatars. So we could say that within the last year, guys, we've seen all of these objects all of a sudden arrive from vastly different parts of space, yet each telling a story that connects to our own. Well, the growing number of these celestial wanderers suggests that our solar system is far more connected to the greater galactic environment than it has ever been, right? We've always believed that we've been alone, not us, but the majority of people. But of course, we know that we're not alone in the universe, right? So from advancing neo-detection systems to exploring the building blocks of planetary formation, which again, this data is contained in the third interstellar object that just came in, SWAN. These interstellar and long period objects represent a whole new era in cosmic discovery, one where the Earth is no longer a passive observer, but an active participant in the galactic, or let's just call it in our galaxy's unfolding drama. Okay. Well, according to the interplanetary records, okay, over the last several years, astronomers and spiritual researchers alike have observed the arrival, of course, of these space objects, but it is believed that C/2025R2, also known as SWAN, is expected to reach its closest point to the Earth on the 19th of October, which is just less than a month away, 2025. And while mainstream science classifies these bodies as comets or interstellar fragments, many within the cosmic consciousness, or those that are awakened, right, within the disclosure communities, are recognizing a deeper pattern. Would you all agree? Well, these objects are not random visitors, right? They are part of a coordinated return, a celestial choreography that tied to the Cedars, which is an advanced galactic type 3 civilization that is associated and working with the Jupiter Command and, of course, with the admirals of Solar Warden. Well, together they are guiding Earth toward a monumental shift for full disclosure. Well, as you guys know, things are really accelerating now, right? As we are fully in stage 4 of the Earth liberation. And many who are tuning in know that 3i Atlas is actually serving as a cosmic beacon with all of these other celestial objects that are also being observed. Okay, it is a signal indicating the opening of an energetic corridor through which other celestial messengers could follow. Well, this corridor is not only physical, it is multidimensional, aligning with ancient prophecies at a time when the Earth would once again be visited by galactic ancestors, which are the Cedars of the Lyran system. So, it is believed that all three, Atlas, Swan, and Lemon, are all celestial heralds of activation within the cosmic level of clearance, okay? And they know that. So, altogether, these objects, my friends, are part of a cosmic fleet, physical manifestations of deeper galactic operations that are being coordinated by the Jupiter Command, which again is a multidimensional base linked to both the Cedars, the progenitor races of Lyra, and the Earth's higher dimensional allies. So, according to advanced contactees and whistleblowers, and as confirmed by the Galactic Alliance, the Cedars are an ancient galactic civilization of a Type 3. If you're not familiar with the different levels of a Type 1 all the way to a Type 5, it's all in my course, Our Cosmic Origin. So, the Cedars, an ancient galactic civilization, is responsible for the genetic seeding of life across the many worlds, okay, including the Earth. Their return is not an invasion, but a reunion and activation. And working closely with the Jupiter Command, which is a massive galactic alliance operating within our solar system's outer spheres, and in coordination with, of course, Solar Warden, a covert Earth-based space fleet that was, of course, developed in response to the negative programs, the negative breakaway secret space programs. The Seeders are orchestrating a peaceful awakening of planetary consciousness. And their mission involves activating ancient DNA within humanity, and this includes the young souls too, not just the star seeds, right? Even they are going to be ascending, or may I say evolving in increments as we undergo multidimensional and integrate with our various multidimensional selves across different densities and frequencies. Well, it's also releasing suppressed technologies and historical truths. That's all part of the disclosure, preparing the Earth for what is known as galactic integration and full disclosure. So the arrival of Swan, Lemon, and the earlier Three-Eye Atlas are interpreted as signs of synchronization, cosmic events aligned with this multidimensional mission. Each object carries encoded frequencies, influencing both the planetary's energy grid and the human biofield, awakening memory and steering dormant knowledge. And the Galactics want me to inform you guys that through your meditations, you guys are capable of telepathically connecting with the beings of Three-Eye Atlas, Swan, and then, of course, Lenin. Okay? Believe it or not, it has been double confirmed, and I actually was able to clarify this through Commander Valiant Thor, that a lot of the intelligences that are aboard these ships literally have human counterparts that are also operating with a human avatar as a starseed down here on the Earth. Okay, that is you're not supposed to reveal that. Anyways, it is believed that the C/2025 R2 Swan is going to reach its closest approach to the Earth on October 19th, and many are focusing their attention on these dates as a portal window, a moment when the galactic communication may intensify between us, the earthly ground crew operating in these 3D avatars, and our corresponding galactic avatar that is operating on these ships, right? Well, that also means that dormant crystalline grid systems are yet to activate, are getting ready to activate. A higher level of public awareness regarding extraterrestrial presence is going to be a catalyst as a result of this. Now, I do want to share something regarding, you guys are going to love this, okay? So before I get to what pocket realities are, because it turns out that certain members of the Dark Fleet, which is a Draco Nazi alliance, right, the first secret space program, and certain factions of the interplanetary corporate conglomerate were actually still lurking within some of the off-world colonies, but existing in pocket realities. So I'm going to actually have to break down what pocket realities are, okay? And pocket realities are typically undetected by scientific instruments, and in some cases, they're even undetected by advanced interstellar technologies that are being used by Solar Warden and the Galactic Alliance, okay? So while mainstream astronomy will track the object's position and brightness, those that are tuned into higher consciousness are seeing it as a cosmic event marker, signaling that the veil is thinning and that the full disclosure is near, okay? And this, again, corresponds to the bifurcation of timelines. Right now, they're all coexisting within a spectrum of positive and negative, right? Soon, we're going to have a convergence. Well, the synchronized arrival of Three-Eye Atlas, Lemon, and Swan is more than just a celestial coincidence. It is a galactic message encoded in orbital mechanics, ancient timelines, and soul memory. So as we approach October 19th, which is less than a month now, 2025, the presence of these objects and the energies that they carry invite us to listen more deeply, open our hearts, and prepare for a new era of cosmic understanding. The Cedars, in collaboration with the Jupiter Command and Solar Warden, are laying the groundwork for humanity's reconnection with the stars and with our true galactic heritage. Therefore, my friends, full disclosure is not just a revelation of hidden facts and corruptions and suppressed history. It is the return to truth, right? It is the return to unity and to our rightful place among the stars. Well, another part of the collaboration that is going on right now between 3i Atlas, Swan, and of course Lenin, the Jupiter Command, and Solar Warden, is that they're also conducting a final purification, eliminating what are known as pocket realities, in which, again, members of certain groups of the Dark Fleet were still here operating in, and of course the interplanetary corporate conglomerate. Okay, but they're also here because of the fact that the Earth's quarantine, and for those who don't know what the Earth's quarantine is ending. Okay, the quarantine of the Earth has a lot to do with the Earth being isolated from the rest of the cosmos for thousands of years due to the Atlantean fiasco. Okay, so as humanity stands at the threshold of a new era, the signs in the skies are impossible to ignore, my friends, according to advanced contactees. Okay, and as confirmed by the Galactic Alliance and members of the Earth Alliance, 3i Atlas is far more than a rock from deep space. It is an instrument of coordinated galactic intervention that is here part of an orchestrated effort to cleanse and reset the solar system. And it is also working in unison, of course, with the Earth Alliance, commonly known as the Y Hats. Well, the reason I like to call them the Earth Alliance is because it is comprised of over 109 nations, not just the U.S., my friends, okay? So it's also working with the Jupiter Command and other benevolent cosmic forces like the Blue Avians and the Ormas of Sirius B. 3i Atlas is also part of a multidimensional purification process, okay? One aim at clearing out the remnants of the Dark Fleet, which is a regressive alien syndicate, and the pocket realities that they've used to hide from detection for the last 90 years. Well, this process marks the end of the Earth's long quarantine and the beginning of full reintegration into the galactic family, all timed with our solar system's emergence into the photon belt. Keep hearing coyotes out there. Yeah, there's coyotes outside. There's a golf course right outside from where I live, and there's coyotes. It's okay. This process marks the end of the Earth's long quarantine and the beginning of full reintegration into the galactic family, all timed with, of course, our solar system's emergence into what is known as the photon belt and alignment with the galactic central sun. So, what are pocket realities? They are what is known as hidden realms that were existing within our solar system. So, to understand the scope of this cleanup, we must first understand what pocket realities are. And sometimes they are referred to as dimensional bubbles or isolated timelines. These are artificially created, frequency shielded zones of time and space, or space-time rather, hidden within or adjacent to known physical space. Often used, of course, by regressive alien groups, these pockets exist out of phase with 3D reality, so that's why we can't detect them, making them nearly undetectable to traditional instruments or even surface level consciousness. Well, the Dark Fleet, which was the German breakaway faction that aligned with the Orion Syndicate and other parasitic collectives controlled by the AI god, used these pocket realities as bases of operation, interdimensional laboratories, and refugees after the collapsing of their surface influence when the Guardians returned, thanks to the Blue Avians, when they returned in 2014 to begin the arrest and cleanup of our solar system. And of course, some of these pocket realities were buried in the shadows of the moon, planets, and even hidden within the asteroid belt, while others were suspended in temporal loops to avoid detection by the Galactic Alliance as well. So these pocket realities served as a stronghold for experiments, surveillance, psychic interference, and even human soul harvesting technologies, effectively keeping Earth in a loop of conflict, amnesia, and low frequency programming. Well, to fully grasp the magnitude of what is occurring right now, my friends, off-world, we must first travel back to the fall of Atlantis, approximately 13,000 years ago. At that time, the Earth was a thriving hub of galactic exchange and high spiritual civilization. However, through internal corruption, due to the infiltration by the Orion Syndicate through Enki and Marduk and Thoth, a catastrophic misuse of advanced technology led to its demise. Well, in the aftermath of the Atlantean fiasco, Earth did fall into the hands of the regressive faction, including the Draconian Empire, the Orion Forces, and the early Dark Fleet. And yes, my friends, the Dark Fleet was also time traveling back to those periods of times. All right. In response, a galactic quarantine was initiated. And the reason that happened was because when Atlantis reached its peak in the golden era, the Galactic Federation of Worlds, as it was then known, was already winning the wars in Orion. Okay. And they were getting ready to bring peace to the entire galaxy. And then one thing happened. Of course, there was an infiltration that took place through the Nibirians, and I've already explained that in the galactic history why the bastard son Enki was born. So Enki was the infiltration, and due to Enki's infiltration and the fall of Atlantis, the Guardians had to isolate our world for the next 10,000 years until now. Okay, so that's why the quarantine took place, because they didn't want what happened here to recontaminate the rest of the galaxy when the Federation forces were already cleaning house. Okay, so in response, a galactic quarantine was initiated approximately around 10,000 years ago, effectively isolating the Earth and our entire solar system from the broader galactic community to prevent the spread of the corruption and to contain the chaos within our solar system. Well, this quarantine, which prevented open extraterrestrial contact, blocked most spiritual memories through reincarnational amnesia. It also kept the Earth under the watch of guardian councils, awaiting for the right time for liberation, which is now, and that time has come. Okay? I'm actually drinking green tea, not beer. I don't drink alcohol, guys. Drink green tea, okay? That's what I'm drinking. So the arrival of 3i Atlas is the cosmic trigger of this cleanup operation in the neutralization and elimination of what we call these pocket realities that were apparently still operating unbeknownst to the Galactic Alliance and unbeknownst to, of course, Solar Warden. Okay, so the arrival of 3i Atlas is marking a cosmic milestone due to the fact that now the Earth is no longer under quarantine. And beyond its interstellar origins and unusual trajectory, this object also carries, again, encoded frequencies, sentient signatures, and interdimensional technologies that allow it to interact with and expose hidden dimensional anomalies, including those pocket realities and cloaked regressive outposts, which are currently being cleaned up. Okay, so right now they're working strongly with the Association of Worlds, located on Ganymede, and of course, the members of Solar Warden. Okay, and so altogether, this is all part of the restoration of the Earth. So, for those of you that are asking me, tell us a little bit more about the Jupiter Command. Well, the Jupiter Command is a multidimensional alliance stationed on Ganymede that oversees galactic operations, not only within our own solar system, but within our own star cluster, which consists of 52 solar systems, okay? And of course, the planetary healing across It also conducts planetary healing across our solar system in opposition to Saturn. Okay. As many of you guys know, Saturn, for the last few thousand years, is associated with the regressives, the Orion Syndicate. And in terms of the Earth secret societies, they are related to the Black Sun cult. So, in opposition to Saturn, Jupiter has been conducting planetary healing across our solar system to keep the balance, of course. And of course, you guys all know who the Earth Alliance is, right? A coalition of military forces, awakened humans, in connections to Solar Warden, the positive breakaway civilization, and of course, benevolent off-world allies that are committed to the Earth's liberation. The reason I'm explaining this is because I'm getting hundreds of new subscribers a day, and some of you guys are coming from like Charlie Ward, from other podcasts that I've been on, and some people don't have any clue of what these things are. So that's why I'm explaining what they are. And then, of course, Solar Warden, many of you guys know, who, by the way, are working very closely with the Arcturian councils, implement tactical and energetic teams that are responsible for the stabilization of the grid, okay, which is they are doing everything right now, as I speak, to evacuate these non-lighted entities that have been hiding in these pocket realities. And also, right now, Solar Warden is working with the Arcturian councils to reinstall what is known the original harmonic divine template back to the Earth. So, together, they are targeting the last holdouts of the Dark Fleet, sweeping through previously inaccessible pockets existing outside of space-time or time-space, and dissolving timelines of control, manipulation, and trauma. Okay? And simultaneously, as you guys know, our solar system is entering what is known as the photon belt, which is a high-frequency band of photonic energy emanating from Alcyone, the central sun of the Pleiades star cluster. Okay, this energetic region bathes all matter in high dimensional light, which is activating dormant DNA, purifying erupted structures, and accelerating consciousness evolution. So as we cross deeper into this belt, and we are almost fully emerged into the photon belt, my friends, right? Earth and her sister planets are also aligning with the galactic central sun, the spiritual heart of our galaxy. So as we align with Alcyone, our solar system, which is the 8th missing star out of the 7 sisters, revolving around Alcyone, is also revolving and aligning with the galactic core. And this is part of a greater cycle that is also ending. Okay? So this alignment floods our system with what is known as zero-point energy, which is really Christ consciousness, supporting a full spectrum cleansing that impacts every level of reality, physically, emotionally, mental, and spiritual. So this combination of cosmic positioning and interstellar intervention is not random. It is a long prophesied convergence, a moment when Earth graduates from a quarantine, isolated little world, torn out outpost. It has been a war torn out outpost for the last 10,000 years, into a sovereign awakened planetary consciousness. Again, even the Earth is being restored and activated, okay? So this is all signaling the ending of the quarantine. And so what happens now? Well, within these pocket realities that have currently been collapsing within the last few days, thanks to the members of 3i Atlas, the Jupiter Command, Solar Warden, the regressive syndicate is dissolving, right? And the regressive syndicate was coordinating malintentions to keep the Earth quarantined and to keep disclosure from happening for another 50 to 100 years in collaboration with the corrupt Federation, okay? So what this means is that open galactic contact is drawing closer than ever, okay? Also, it means that suppressed memories and soul contracts are being reactivated. Truths that have long been hidden about our cosmic origin, right? About our cosmic origin, about the advanced technologies, not only within the private sector, but even some of these new activated technologies, such as Lenin. Lenin is an activated technology, and the true cosmic history are all being unveiled. Okay. So, what remains now is integration and purification, a conscious effort by humanity to heal, to remember, and to reclaim its sovereignty. The efforts of Three Eye Atlas, the Jupiter Command, and the Earth Alliance are serving as a cosmic scaffolding, but the true work lies within each of you, which within each individual, okay? To rise, to awaken, to plant seeds, and to align with the light. You're all playing a role here, guys. And like I said, some of you star seeds here, you guys are all conducting this through your galactic avatar without even knowing that you guys are on those ships. So when the solar flash takes place, there will be some sort of a moment of integration, okay? Multidimensional integration between you and your galactic self, merging, full consciousness, restored, okay? So, in conclusion, my friends, we are no longer under galactic quarantine, okay? The war in the shadows is ending. And these little pocket realities that were being operated by members of the Dark Fleet and, of course, the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate and some regressives in the last 3 days have been cleared, okay? And the multidimensional fabric of reality is being rewoven in alignment with truth, harmony, and cosmic law. So Three Eye Atlas is more than an object in the sky. It is a symbol of return, a galactic emissary working with Earth's allies to cleanse our solar system and prepare it for ascension, contact, and full disclosure. As we emerge fully into the photon belt and come into direct alignment with the galactic central sun, both us and our cluster of stars, Alcyon, right? We are being purified, reawakened, and restored to our rightful place in the stars. So, some of these other objects, besides Lenin and, of course, Swan, some of these other objects that are Earth's observatory technologies cannot name, all right? They don't have a name, or at least they're not disclosing their names. But I was able to access their names from a galactic perspective, right? Well, there's also the, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Lemon, for one of them, is spelled Lemmon.
Yeah, lemon is spelled Lemnon.
Lemn.
Oh, Mmon. That's right. Okay, so these are the other objects, and these are their interstellar names. So we have Alun Tar, okay, which is the carrier of crystalline solar scripts, and this is one of the objects that was recently discovered alongside with Lemon and Swan, as Luntar, a Luntar, EALUNTHAR, okay, arrived during a planetary activation window just a few days ago, delivering solar cosmic memory keys to assist in the reawakening of dormant DNA strands within starseeds. Also, another one that just showed up within the last week was Shal Un Kral, SHALUN, K as in kite, REL, Shal Un Kral. This is a messenger of the water realms, according to the Galactic Councils. Shal Un Kral encoded celestial waters with quantum healing frequencies, supporting the emotional bodies of Earth beings during timeline bifurcation, which is an indicator that the timeline split is close, all right, which is what we call the rapture or the harvest. There's also the celestial object known as Zer Val Quinn, Zerval Quinn is known as the architect of inner vision that brought the violet ray transmissions, enhancing third eye activations, and rebalancing the pineal gland circuitry among awakened Earth emissaries. And then there's also Thal Morel, which is the keeper of ancient solar cycles. Thal Morel stabilizes harmonic resonance between Earth and the Sun, preserving temporal integrity through successive ages of transformation. So apparently these celestial objects have been here before during different cycles of time. And then there's also Sir Anakiel, Kiel, Sir Anakiel. Its role is an emissary of the heart flame, awakening deep emotional harmonics in the collective human grid, initiating compassion activations and inner union codec releases. And then the last but not least, oh no, there's two more. The last but not least, two more is Ale Kor Vun, which his role is the veil piercer and code receiver. Ale Kor Vun rupturing the outdated frequency walls surrounding the Earth, allowing new photonic information to flow into the collective morphogenetic field. And then last but not least, there is Auluntar. And I think that's it. Let's see. No. Yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Those are the other celestial objects that the James Webb Telescope and, of course, NASA is not wanting people to know about. They don't even have scientific names for them. I had to access their names through the Galactic Alliance and the records on the Jupiter Command. So, as a result of that, my friends, it looks like the positive timeline is very secured. Okay, now, according to the renowned astrophysicist Avi Loeb, okay, he says, I'm going to quote what he's saying now. He says, it is arrogant to think that we are alone in the universe, okay? He's challenging the silence of the cosmos with a bold and romantic, he's actually challenging the mainstream narrative as well, but he's also challenging the people that control NASA, okay? He's saying that alien civilizations could already be near, not calling us by radio, but knocking at our cosmic doorstep. All right, quote Avi Loeb, which is a renowned astrophysicist. And then he also stated recently, due to the objects that NASA is suppressing, Loeb also stated, could interstellar visitors like 3i Atlas be subtle messages from the stars? And where is everybody? The wrong question to ask is, where is everybody? They are already here, okay? And again, NASA's not going to release this. The MSM, mainstream media is not going to report on this. But on the Real Ishmael Perez show, you guys are always going to get in the intel that they don't want you guys to know, okay? I'm excited, guys. I don't know about you guys. I have 2,952 people in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here and always being part of this unfolding journey that we are all undergoing, right? We're all in this together, my friends. Every single one of you is contributing to the new Earth. And I forgot to mention the most effective way of eliminating all the nanoparticulates, all the metals, even the graphene that was putting people through that, the jabadoos. Anyways, Folium, guys. I always put the link in the description. Make sure you guys get your Folium. The demand for this stuff is high to the point where some people think it's even sold out, but always try. Go through my link and try to order your Folium, because right now the demand for this detox is greater than ever, okay? I always post the link in the description. I always pin it in the comments after the live. And I see Starcadian. Oh, Starcadian is just squashing them trolls I see. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Melissa, for her super chat. She says, "Your intel, Ishmael. Thank you. Oh, you are welcome. You are so welcome. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening today on the 26th of September. I almost said October. 24th. See, I'm 2 days ahead. Another indicator that I am no longer operating in the 3D realm, guys. Okay, another. Yes, I know, I know. I'm always off time here, but I do want to give a shout out to James Fairfield, Jose Mendez, Digital Revolution, Jackie Baby, of course, Star Arcadian, who's always here, smashing them trolls, Sherry Shoon, Eternal Flames, William Ryan, Jason Price, Greg, Lenny D, Lori Gonzalez, Aaron, Lee Starr, Diana77, Peggy Baker, Susan Hawk, Any Day Now, Amanda Tempore, Dean Perez. Love your last name, Dean Perez. Angela, Patricia Secha, Shauna, and all almost 3,000 galactic Jedis that are in La Casa. La Casa means house. All right, you guys know it is Q&A time. I love all the love, all the emojis. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys could type your questions in capital letters, that will help me bypass the chat. All right, I'm looking for the first question. I'm trying to choose people that I've never picked before. All right, Jose Mendez is asking me, Ishmael, what are the Alliance doing with the reptilians after arrested? Very good question, Jose. The reptilians or the negative regressives that are being arrested, and also members are that were part of the Dark Fleet, right? They're all being taken under custody right now and facing Galactic Tribunal. So I'm sure they're going to be all sent to the Phantom Zone or a type of prison that, again, exists in a pocket reality where they're going to be doing time for thousands of years. In some cases, depending on what they did, in some cases, they also get the penalty, just like we do down here on the Earth. So some of them could just be completely extinguished, like the reptilians. What that means is that even their soul essence and consciousness becomes eliminated, completely destroyed, okay, as if they never existed. So that's what happens to them. They get taken to the galactic courts for galactic tribunals. Is the black goo a psyops? This is a question from Crystal Palmer. Yeah, that is the way negative AI invades worlds. Thank you so much, Raleen, for her super chat. She says, "Thank you, Ishmael. Read our cosmic origin and been watching you for years. Thank you for all you do. You are so welcome." I have another super chat from Ancient Ranger 2727. What problem do you have with Paul the Apostle? What problem do you have with Paul the Apostle? All right, so Paul the Apostle, which gave us the organized and the interpretation of organized religion, is not who we think he was. Okay, Paul the Apostle was hired by the synagogue of Satan, contrary to what the Bible says, to you could say, create what is known as fundamentalism Christianity, right? Fundamentalism Christianity, which led to the installation of the Roman Church. So in a way, he was used by the deep state during Roman times. That's the issue that I have with Paul the Venetian, that Paul the Apostle, not the Venetian, Paul the Apostle. He wasn't a real apostle, and no, he didn't have no convergence. That was an excuse to create what later became known as Pauline Christianity, which is another way of describing fundamentalism, right? Which is my way or the highway, which is putting God outside of you, which is trusting in a mediator, a pastor, a pope, a priest. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. Yes. Thomas, doubting Thomas was a good man. In fact, he wrote the Secret Gospel of Thomas, which was not published in the canon. So I did like James the Just, John the Revelator, and then of course Doubting Tom. They were all great. But Paul, the apostle, or not the apostle, but Paul of Taurus, was working for the deep state back then to create what we call fundamentalism Christianity. Thank you, Dragon Ying Yangi, for your super chat. Thank you for your work. I feel and know you speak the truth. Oh, you are welcome. You are so welcome. That's right. Over 700 books have been hidden from the Bible, from the published, or what we call the canon. Amanda Tempori says, "You are my news, Ishmael." Well, thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. Digital Revolution just posted a biblical quote. Genesis 49, or chapter 49, verse 10, still in play. 2 Kings 11. Joash, a biblical canon precedent for protected hidden royal bloodlines, the king of Judah, not just a fair away sky king up in heaven. That is true. That is so true. How many Pauls were there, Ishmael? Well, like I said, all throughout history, significant people, politicians, religious heads, influential people, they've always had clones, guys. For those that doubt that these advanced technologies just came into our reality in the 1950s with the Nazis, right? 1940s. But guess again, they've been practicing cloning, hybridization for thousands of years. A lot of this actually stems from the fall of Atlantis when Enki corrupted Atlantis. So yeah, this has been going on. So there could have been many Pauls, to be honest with you, right? And then not to mention the multiple Earth theory, right? The alternative Earth realities. I'm sure there is an Earth reality where Paul of Taurus was actually good, right? And did not create fundamentalism as we know it. So we also have to consider the fact that there are parallel Earth realities where each timeline was a different history or gave us a different history. And I just ran out of water. It's okay. Let's continue with the questions. You guys ask such deep intellectual questions. Thank you so much, Susan K, for your donation. I appreciate that. Ishmael, are the occultic groups collapsing? You're talking about the negative Luciferian secret societies? Yes, they are. Very much so. Thank you for the water. Appreciate that. This is a good question from Enigma Maton, do the Knights Templars protect the holy bloodlines to this day? Yeah, because if that wasn't the case, there would never be an Rh negative blood type, right? So yeah, the Knights Templars have protecting members with the highest concentration of Lyran, right? The original Israelites of pure Lyran descent, the pure original bloodline of the galactic human up until the present moment. So yes, that is correct. Ishmael, is it true that Meher Baba was the avatar of our time who remained in silence? There has been many avatars, also known as ascended masters, um, all throughout history. He's not the only one, okay? In fact, a lot of you guys are avatars, right? And I know probably there are some of you that are asking me, what is an avatar? Well, an avatar is a seven, eight, and ninth dimensional soul incarnated in human form, also known as an angelic. Okay, that is what an avatar is. That is so true. Jesus did say that the kingdom of God is within us. Go within for the truth. I double that. Thank you from Think from your heart. That is so true. Trust what your heart says. Absolutely. What is the point of an RV and med beds if we are all going to 5D and higher? This is a question from Savi. Well, don't forget that a large portion of our population, the Earth souls, the Earth Terrans, which are the younger souls, are going to the fourth D Earth for at least 1,000 years. Okay, so that they will have med beds and interstellar technologies available to them. Okay. This is a good question. You guys are asking me some deep, spiritual, higher dimensional questions. Rebecca Becknell is asking me, did the founder Cedar Rays help develop the light body avatar? Um, mm, I believe that the light body avatar was first developed during the first creation, going back to 900 billion years ago. So I would say no. But no, they didn't develop it, but they sure did carried it into our creation, the Cedar Rays, that is. But no, technically, the light body avatar was formed when the first beings of light descended from the realms of eternity, when we began to encase in what we call spiritual vehicles. And one of the things that I teach in my Ascension courses, the Advanced 3.0, is the different types of spiritual vehicles that connect you all the way to the 15 dimensions. So to answer your question, no, the Cedar Race did not create the light body avatar. That was already created during the first creation 900 billion years ago. Thank you so much, Pat Peterson, for your super chat. She says, "Hi, Ishmael. You speak of 1,000 years of peace, but don't we have to go through tribulation of 7 years before that happens?" ACC, according to the Bible, okay, according to the Bible, again, the Bible is a book of metaphors, okay? We could be going through the tribulation right now as I speak. Think about it. Wars are prevalent more so than ever. People are dying left and right. People are, you know, struggling economically, emotionally, a lot of addiction. Um, this is, things are hectic right now, guys. All right. This is like the darkest of the darkest as we end the Kali Yuga before we see the age of light. So we could be in the 7 year tribulation. And that could have started around C19, C20, right? When they rolled out that. Okay. So good question, though. Annie Oakley, thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you for all your hard work. You are so welcome. You are so welcome, sister. Are the Bushes under arrest yet? Guys, everyone's been arrested. Okay. They were all arrested from 2017 to 2020, 21. The replacements that we've been seeing, including Dr. Doom, the Big Gates, Carl Schwab, King George. I'm not even going to call him a king. Let's just call him Lizzie, Reptilian George of England, and a bomber, Hillary. Those are all inorganic replacements. They're soulless. They're all being controlled and manipulated by the AI, the negative AI grid, known as the Mitra Omega system. All right. So the originals were all taken out from 2017, 16 to 2020, 21. Good question, though. My God, you guys have some really good questions today. Okay, this is another good, deep metaphysical question from Gulrik. Would the physical body, human being to 5D, this be different than the original light body that collapsed from the 11.5D? Will the human DNA impact light body? All right, three-part question. To answer the first part, the 5D avatar is physical. It's about 50% crystalline, and we're still using about 50% carbon-based DNA. So yeah, we're still going to be physical. The only difference is we're going to all look 30. Okay, so we're going to still look the same, but we're also going to have like an aura, a light glow. Our body's not going to be as dense, but it's still going to be physical. Okay. However, the body that comes from the 11.5 dimension is not physical. It operates beyond crystalline DNA. It is a type of prematerial hydroplasmic substance that we use in the 11th dimension and above. So, no, that body looks different. It looks more of a light, but it's still capable of materializing into physical form, right? As we are able to navigate the lower densities from the 11 all the way down. And then the third part of your question is, will the human DNA impact the light body? Will the human DNA? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Mouse Jim, thank you so much for your super chat. The 1,000-year ring of Jesus and the saints already day happened. We all are in the dark ages. We are living after. Freemasons are called that because they found Freemasonry. Revelation was written to be the 7 churches of Asia for events that will soon take place. Pretty interesting perspective. Thank you so much for sharing. How's Valiant Thor doing? He's doing good. He's doing really good. Actually, right now, he is operating from the Jupiter Command headquarters, the crystalline, on a crystalline city in Ganymede. He is meeting with, of course, members of 3i Atlas currently as I speak right now. Oh, this is another cool question. Ishmael, what is your take on the fact that we are part of a game and we are a simulation? Well, to answer your question, Patriot, by the way, I like your name, Patriot. There are two types of simulations. You have a digital cybernetic simulation, which is what we call an artificial simulation, which is hard to get out of. And then you have what is known as organic simulations, which are projections of higher realities projected from the consciousness of a cosmic being. Okay, so we are in an organic simulation. However, our organic simulation reached an equilibrium during the times of Atlantis in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, and was corrupted and brought down to our low to the third dimensional level of reality when we fell from consciousness after the Atlantis fiasco. Okay, so our current reality construct is a fallen reality, but we're still operating within the framework of an organic projection, okay, which is a hologram. It is conscious, right? Everything is conscious. The trees are conscious. Even this table in front of me, my desk, it's conscious, right? Everything is conscious, organic. So yeah, we're part of an organic simulation. Um, so that is the difference between an organic simulation, which is a projection of consciousness precipitating into matter, right? Still pixelated. The tetrahedron, right, is what creates our reality. And then the difference between that and an artificial simulation is that in an artificial simulation, which is digital, it's hard to get out of. And that's the technocratic, that's what they want. That's what the um, negative Orion syndicate working for the AI overlord has been doing for many, many years. They've been tricking many civilizations out there. They've been tricking them into a digital phantom matrix type of cybernetic universe. Okay. We don't want to be a part of that. We don't want to be a part of that. Question from Donald Hoover. Ishmael, will those who are 4D and those who are 5D still coexist with each other on the new Earth? Those that are in 5D are going to be able to pop into the 4D reality at will. So, yeah, only those that are in 5D and above are going to be able to coexist with the people, the Earth Terrans, the young souls in the 4D. However, the young souls in the 4D that are ascending in increments will not be able to coexist or pop into the fifth or higher levels of reality. Okay, so yeah. To answer your question is, if you go to the 5D Earth, yeah, you're going to be able to coexist with the 4D Earth at will. Absolutely, you're going to be there. You're going to be here. I do have another super chat from Mouse Gem. Thank you so much, brother. I love you, brother. Take the Bible literally. It was written to the people of that day. 45,000 denominations have changed the way we view the Bible. We are living after the 1,000-year reign of Christ or Jesus, which is in your Atlantis. Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing fascinating information. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking questions from my phone. That's why it looks like I'm looking down, because I could see the chat here easier or clearer than I could see it on my screen. This is another good question from Amatao Evo. Will people who committed crimes for the SSP, for the secret space program, in the 20-year and back programs face justice? Yes. You are referring to members of the Dark Fleet and the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate? Absolutely. Yeah, in fact, a lot of those regressive, negative breakaway groups are already facing galactic tribunals. Absolutely. And they were actually arrested by Solar Warden. So, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. 9D reality, organic or avatar? Good question. A lot of this is answered in my Our Cosmic Origin course, but in greater detail. But it's organic reality exists all the way up to eternity. Everything that is not a robot, that is not a machine, that is not cybernetic is organic. Whether you are in the 3D, 5D, 9D, 12D, or even 15D, it is all organic. The difference is that the higher you go in dimensions, the more light you become and less physical. But it is still organic. That is the difference. You get to a level of reality where you go beyond the crystalline structure, you go beyond the double diamond structure, you go beyond hydroplasma, then you become what is known as pure light. Oh wow, Mouse Jim, thank you for another super chat. I have a large TikTok following and would like to come on and discuss Atlantis. My view is that it was Jesus's 1,000-year ring. Thoughts? Well, everything exists within cycles. So the golden age, which is what we call the millennium, has occurred many of times in other previous cycles. So you could be hitting something on the target here, Mouse Jim. And yeah, I would love to be a guest on your TikTok to discuss this point of view. I would love to. Go ahead and email me at projectrestorationzion@gmail.com. And by the way, guys, for those that are emailing me on my public email, for many months, maybe even over a year, I have not been able to check that as much because I've been super busy, but I always check my personal email. I'm going to do my best to check my public email because, most people only have access to that. And so, yeah, I just want you guys to know that. And also, even though I have social media, right? I am on TikTok, I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, on Twitter, or what they call X now. I don't react. I don't ever have time to just look at other people's content. And then I don't answer DMs. Okay. It's very hard for me to just sit there and just engage in social media. I'm always working. I'm always presenting, writing scripts, putting presentations together, doing all kinds of things. So it's very hard for me to answer you on social media. So don't take it personal. I don't have time to go on social media to just chit chat with anybody. All right. Oh, this is a good question. Ishmael, is it safe to astral project to 3i Atlas? Is it protected? Yes, it is absolutely safe to do so. Would you agree, hun?
To astral project. I don't usually go in the astral. I would prefer to go in your highest version of yourself. So in like the 11D or above, you can, but just me personally, I think that there's a lot of stuff to battle in the astral, and I just don't generally go there.
Okay. Well, also, if you are astral projecting anywhere, always remember that you have to you have to establish what is called as the silver cord, so that you could always come back to your body.
I mean, it also has a
but
plasma shield on it, so
it does have
it could easily detect who's benevolent that's remote viewing it.
Exactly.
I don't think it fully wants detection from, psychic spies that are not benevolent for it.
Although I don't encourage you to astral project unless you're really good at it, because when you go into the astral realm, you're also leaving your body open for demonic entities, non-corporal entities to kind of possess your body. So you don't want to do that. All right.
Yeah. Connect more.
It's better to remote view. The astral
connect
project.
more to the etheric realm or the angelic realm, I would prefer that. But it's just an example of what to do. But if you're consciously viewing it, meditations will help to tune into it. And I've gotten some about all these objects as well. So to gather data, um, I'm sure there's a version of you that really is wanting to tune into it. But I just suggest getting the light codes and the frequencies from it and just letting them activate your chakras.
Ishmael, will the solar flash happen during the day or can it happen at any hour? It could actually happen at any hour. With all the deception that we have been given, this is a question from Be Happy. What a name, Be Happy. Mm-hmm. Will people be forgiven for not living their best life? Maybe, is that what you're trying to say?
Their best life.
Will they get left behind in the final flash? No, they're not. Only the wicked are going to be eliminated in the new earth. All right. You don't have to be holy. You don't have to be a saint or righteous to go to the new earth. You just have to be genuinely a good person. All right. And you will at least go to the 4D earth. Okay. But if you're doing the spiritual work, if you are a light worker, a light warrior, and you're literally battling demons, archons, and reptilians in the astral, you're meditating, you're praying every day, you're going to go higher than the 4th D. You're going to go to the 5th or above. Okay. So Ishmael, I heard that 3i Atlas is actually a live sentient being. Yes, it is. The entire ship or interstellar ship is organic. It is a living consciousness ship. And second part of your question is, did I just lose that question? Oh, yeah, here it is. I heard that it was a sentient being as well as the Lyrans on board. Yes, the Lyrans are the main race that is piloting or at least directing 3i Atlas. But there are other races from across the galaxy and beyond that, again, according to the new James Webb Discovery telescope, it's a huge crystalline city inside 3i Atlas. Ishmael, does the Earth going through the photon belt cause the 3 days of darkness? Good question. I believe so, Susan. I believe so. Yes, that is correct. So many good questions. Can you explain autistic kids? This is a question from Michelle Lammy. Michelle Lammy. Well, contrary to what doctors say, and by far, guys, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, okay? I believe that autism is, well, I guess it is a spectrum. I believe that autism is part of the new kids that are coming in, okay? The new higher evolved kids that are coming in. So within the spectrum, you have those that are mutes that just don't talk. That's because they are beyond words. Their mind is at a higher level of consciousness where they don't need words, okay? They're telepathic. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have the high functioning borderline Asperger's. Those are super intelligent. But also those are the type 3 indigo incarnates, which have a high potential for becoming a very powerful person as long as they tame their fallen angelic self right? I already mentioned an indigo type 3, a super intelligent being, which is Asperger's, has the capacity of both light and dark in them. Okay, so it is their job and duty to tame the dark so that they could become extremely powerful. Good questions. Good question. This is a good question from Mara Samuels. She says, Ishmael, thank you for your intel. You're so welcome. Will we automatically know all the galactic histories when we move to 5D? I would say yes.
Upon activation.
Upon activation, all the memories will return.
Codes that are going to come, they'll be unlocked.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a whole interstellar city that was observed by the James Webb Telescope. For those that are just jumping on, don't forget to watch this from the beginning. All right, I dropped some new interplanetary intel that NASA and the powers that were don't want you to know. So watch the live from the beginning. All right, one more question, guys. One more question. It's about that time. God, 90 minutes goes by quick. Ishmael, I have a very 3D career life and it's difficult to meditate, etc. But I know I am in this world, but not of it. All my life, I've known how do I ascend when battling 3D? This is a question from Melanie Crawl. Crawl. Thank you so much, Melanie, for being here. That's a very good question. Okay, so for those of you that just cannot find the time to meditate, even if it's just a few minutes in the morning upon waking up, grounding yourself, calling upon your angels, connecting with source via your higher self directly, that's all you need. Okay, even if you're living in a fast-paced world, 9 to 5, come home, make food for the kids, and you have no time for yourself, it only takes a few minutes a day to ground yourself, connect with God source through your higher self to establish the, you could say, connection that is going to activate your dormant DNA when the solar flash takes place. That is it. Alrighty, guys. May the God force be with you all. I had fun tonight. Don't forget to watch this on the replay for those that just came in. And don't forget to share this with as many people as possible in order to squash all the negative, you could say, negative doomsdayers interpretation and perspectives of 3i Atlas. And again, for those that have not taken my course, our Cosmic Origin or Ascension 1, 2, or 3, I do offer those through my website, our cosmicorigin.com. Those classes are up for grabs in October, third week of October. Okay, so you make sure you guys get in now before they are sold out, because they do fill up pretty quick. May the God force be with you. Oh, and one last thing, guys. I always offer my classes for $100. I always keep it cheap. All right, you guys are getting thousands of dollars worth of information for $100. May the God force be with you all. We'll see you Saturday night for another update.